Hey mama, welcome to the Parently YouTube channel. I'm Annabelle, RN, BSN, birth doula, and mama of two. I'm actually 27 weeks pregnant right now with my second baby, little boy, and I'm having some pregnancy complications. So if you're out there and you've been told by your doctor that you have some complications going on, I feel you. I'm here for you. I'm supporting you. You can do this. Keep pushing forward. We're gonna get to your birth healthy and we're gonna do this together. So stay tuned for all of the videos that I have for you in your birth. And what I'm really passionate about is natural birth because I believe that it's best for mom and baby in most circumstances. I understand that C-sections save lives and I understand that epidurals are the best option for some moms, but I personally believe that epidurals have some side effects that I'm not really fond of, and that natural birth is best for mom and baby for so many different reasons. Right now, we're gonna jump into 5 myths about natural birth that you need to stop believing now. And I'm gonna go through these 5 things, and hopefully, they will encourage you to be confident in your birth choice. So before I go any further, make sure you subscribe to this channel and ring the bell so that you stay up to date on my weekly videos. I really want to continue to go weekly live for you. So I want to answer your questions. I really want to read your comments. So let me know in the comment section below what you want to hear more about. I'm really going to start doing what I like to call natural birth basics, where I'm going to do Q&A and I'm going to answer some misconceptions about birth and natural birth. So definitely let me know in the comment section below. I have created a workbook for you that includes my 4-step process. I call it the PAIR process. And it's what I believe is going to help moms go from, I don't know if I can do this, I don't even know where to start, how am I going to give birth, let alone naturally? Well, I have created a process for you that is very strategic to walk you through each of the steps. And this workbook is free. It's my Parently Natural Birth Workbook. You can check it out in the link below. The first misconception that I want to address is I don't have high enough pain tolerance to give birth naturally. I hear this a lot from moms. I'm a doula, and this is what I hear from moms. I really want to give birth naturally, but I just don't know if I can do it. And what I kind of hear moms say is, when I'm on my period, when I'm bleeding, I take Advil. Like, I take pain meds even just when I'm menstruating. So how am I going to birth a baby out of my vagina that's a lot more than just my period and do it successfully without pain meds? Well, I want to encourage you. For one, when you are giving birth, it is a process. Just like any other event in life is a process, giving birth is a process, and you are going to start where you can handle the pain. It's going to be just a little bit of pain. Okay, yeah, this is a contraction. I'm not really fond of this, but I'm still talking through it. I can still handle it. And it's going to build. And what we think of labor and contractions is the contractions are going to build, the pain's going to build, but we don't think about the other side of it. Me, as the one receiving that pain, I also have another mechanism going on in my body that is building, and that is hormones and the way that our brain responds to pain. Pain meds, a lot of what they do is just tell our brain to block the pain. The pain's still there, the event's still happening. You know, you cut yourself, you take ibuprofen. It's not that the cut goes away, it's that your perception of the pain goes away. And so we have hormones going through our body that build as labor itself builds, that is helping us cope with that pain. So the pain increases slowly, and these hormones release into our body slowly and tell our brain, you can do this, you can handle this, you can cope with this. And when we take that into consideration now, before the pain even starts, we can go into it saying, yes, the pain's going to come, but I have hormones, I have mechanisms in my body that are going to cope with that pain. And I can help those hormones be released more and more. I can change positions as my body says, yeah, that's not really comfortable. You need to get down on hands and knees. You need to move your legs in this way to move your pelvis and help baby get into a better position. You can get into a warm bath to help yourself cope with the pain, or a hot shower using counter pressure with your birth coach. You can do things that will help you have those mechanisms increase with the pain increasing. Your contractions are from your uterus, which is a muscle squeezing. And you think about when you go to the gym and you lift weights and your muscles start to get so tired and start to ache, that's painful. But when we think, okay, I have a uterus that is a muscle that's squeezing, and the end result is that I am going to have a great birth memory and I'm going to be holding my baby. That is all part of the mindset of, yes, you do have pain tolerance that is enough to give birth naturally. So I want to encourage you with that. Myth number 2, birth support, so a birth coach, a doula, whoever it might be, is really only there for emotional support. And I really don't want to take the time to pay for that person if it's a doula or figure out who's going to be my birth coach because it's just emotional. I don't really need it. That is a myth that I want you to get out of your head. Birth support, meaning childbirth class before labor starts, and having a birth coach, someone by your side through the process of birth prep and labor itself and birth, is more than just emotional support. It is very much emotional support, but it's also physical support. So helping you get into different positions. Like I said, in the prep time, getting you in the mindset of reminding you you can do this, talking you through the process. When you get into labor and you're just thinking pain, 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 your birth coach is there saying, remember the end result. Remember what we're doing here. Remember your goal. Remember what this is doing for your body, giving you encouraging words. And on top of all of that, birth coaches are statistically proven to help you in labor, decrease your time in labor, decrease your risk for C-section, decrease your risk for having to have assisted delivery with interventions that you don't really want. Birth support, as in a birth coach and a childbirth class, are greatly important. And I can understand your whole thought process if I don't want to pay that person. I'm already, going to the hospital, there's going to be medical bills, and I just don't need that person. But think about this person being someone that's going to decrease risk factors for you. Maybe decrease hospital bills because you're going to have that person there encouraging you to continue on your labor process and stay away from interventions that can be very expensive. And more than just money, what goes beyond money is the rest of your life, your birth memory. Your birth memory is going to be so important to you after you give birth, and I want you to have a good birth memory. There are so many moms that have traumatic birth memories, and there are ways that you can control that. A lot happens in birth that is not controllable, but there is so much that is controllable. And having someone by your side as your birth support is controllable, and it will change your labor process and your birth story. So the other part of this is that doulas are not your only option. To have to go out and pay for a doula is, they are trained and they're experienced, but I love to see dads being mom's birth support. That's who was my birth support. I had my husband, but I also had my mom, who is a labor and delivery nurse. And my dad also stepped in quite a bit. He's an OBGYN. And so I had a lot of support. And these people knew what they were doing. So you might say, well, my husband doesn't want to do that. He just doesn't want to be a part of the birth process. I don't think he can support me in that way. He can be equipped to be your birth support. Even dads that just aren't really involved in the whole birth aspect of things, they can get the tools that they need. And I love to help dads in that way, and I love to see dads encouraged that way. And in my online course, my natural birth course, we do a lot to help dads prepare as birth coaches. But also moms can be good birth support, sisters, friends. If you have a friend that has been a part of a birth before, you don't have to necessarily pay for birth support. There are people out there, and I want to encourage you to find someone to be a part of this process with you. Myth number 3, birth is not a normal event and it requires medical interventions. So, historically, in the medical realm, doctors and nurses have seen birth as more of a pathological and abnormal event, but that is not true. Birth is absolutely a normal event for mom, and it doesn't have to require medical interventions. It can happen completely naturally. One of the biggest blockades to birth happening naturally is more socioeconomical reasons. So mom maybe not having a great diet, mom not having a great lifestyle, the way that she lives her life, getting up, walking, moving, having decreased stress in her life, getting good sleep. These things can lead to mom and baby not being at their optimal health when birthday arrives. And then this can lead to complications, which then doctors say, okay, this whole process is not happening normally. We need to intervene with these medical interventions. So, where you can come in is taking the time and the effort to eat a healthy diet, to make sure that you have activity in your day. Just walking, make sure you're walking several times a day. Make sure that you are stretching and preparing your pelvis for birth. Make sure you're getting good rest and you are taking measures to decrease stress in your life with meditation or reading or relaxation exercises, something that can make sure that you arrive at birth in a healthy state. And the problem with all of these medical interventions is that they often lead mom to her end result with a bad birth memory, and we want to stop that in its track. We want mom to have the best birth memory. And so if you know that you have some control in that and that birth can happen normally and that you want to start preparing for that process, that can give you so much power. So I want to encourage you to understand that birth is a normal process and you do have some control over it in the prep period and in the birth event in and of itself. Myth number 4, I have to listen to my doctor, nurse, and hospital protocol, hospital rules, if I give birth in the hospital setting. This is a big misconception in the birth world. And the problem with it is that it has led a lot of moms to say the only way that I'll be able to eat and drink in labor is if I give birth at home. The only way that I'll be able to wear whatever I want in labor is to give birth at home. And so the problem with that is that I personally don't believe that we are quite advanced in our medical equipment for moms to be giving birth at home. Research does show that if moms are completely healthy and they're showing no signs of any complications, they're low risk, that giving birth at home is safe. However, I know plenty of moms that had a healthy pregnancy, they're completely healthy women, and they said, I'm going to give birth at home, and they started to labor and a complication arose. And then they had to be taken to the hospital and had a more of a chaotic birth experience, something they were not anticipating and something they were not prepared for. And that's why I love A&A, anticipate and adjust. You are taking all of the time to say, I'm going to prepare to be healthy and I'm going to expect that I'm going to have a natural birth, but I'm also going to anticipate that things could happen. And I'm going to learn now how to adjust to those things so that I still stay in control. And when things happen outside of my control that could be emergency situations, I can still adjust to those situations. And with that said, you do not lose control of yourself or your baby when you step into a hospital setting. They are there to care for you, the doctor, the nurse, the hospital, and they are there to really just keep emergencies at their lowest. That does not always happen though. And so you have to listen to your body and what you believe. And when they say, no, you're not supposed to eat and drink because in case of an emergency, you don't want anything in your stomach. Well, research shows that you're still going to have something in your stomach even if it's been several hours since you ate last. Labor is a long event. You need to stay hydrated. You need fuel in your body. Me as mom, I'm going to say, you know what? No, I need to eat and drink during labor. I'm taking full responsibility. This is what I want to do. This is what I want to wear. No, I don't want an IV in my arm. You can draw blood, but I don't want that. I want to get out of bed and have intermittent monitoring. I don't want these straps on me the whole time. You have that right. And so knowing that and saying, yes, I'm going to give birth in the hospital so that I have that equipment there in case something happens, but I'm still staying in control of myself, my body, and my baby. That is so important for you to know. And I want to empower all moms to know that. But I still encourage moms to be at a hospital or a birth center that is connected to a hospital. Definitely encouraging. And the 5th myth is that most C-sections are for emergency purposes, and I should not question my doctor if he says, we're taking you to C-section, this is an emergency, let's go. I want to bring this up because there are emergency situations for C-sections. But the problem with emergency, I worked in the emergency room, so I understand emergencies, is that they have to be done right now. And if they don't, if interventions don't happen right now, mom and baby will potentially die within 30 minutes to an hour. That's scary. And there's a lot of moms that have that fear put into them in the hospital so that they don't question anything and they just go along for that whole surgery. However, most C-sections that happen in the hospital are not actually emergency C-sections. Mom and baby won't die right now if we don't have a C-section right now. The correct term is that they're non-planned C-sections. We have planned C-sections where moms are out in society, they go to their doctor's visit, something seems wrong, mom or baby are sick, and the doctor says, let's plan a C-section, you need to go to C-section, or for other reasons, planned C-sections can happen. But when mom is in the labor process, she's at the hospital, labor's been going great, and something happens, usually failure to progress, or the baby's just not coming down the birth canal, and the doctor says, okay, this has just been happening for too long, baby's just not going to deliver, your cervix just is not opening correctly, lots of different ways that we can say this. They say, okay, it's time for C-section, and they make it seem like it's an emergency C-section. However, mom still has some say-so in all of this, especially with failure to dilate or failure to progress. Mom has the right to stop the room, ask questions, intervene with some of her thoughts, and really make sure that this is the best option for her and her baby. Because there are several times where the mom could say, can we try and just let me labor for another 30 minutes, maybe an hour, to see if I can change positions, get up, move around the room, see if my baby's heart rate and the tracing looks better, see if baby comes down the birth canal more. Can we try some other options? So I really want to empower moms that emergency is sometimes used to scare moms, but they don't always have to be emergency. A lot of times it is for another purpose, and the medical records actually show that. And so be encouraged that you can ask questions. Even when the doctor says, we got to go to C-section right now, you can still ask questions. The whole point of all of this is so that you have the best birth memory, so that years from that birth experience, you can say, yes, that was an adventure that we went on, a journey, me and my baby and dad who was here, and we all bonded through this experience, and it was good. Yes, there were some things we had to work around. Not everything worked perfectly, but overall, it was a beautiful experience. That is our goal. That is what we're working towards. So these are the 5 myths that I want you to just get out of your head, clear it all out, and take some power into your labor and birth experience. As I said, I am going to be doing these live videos for natural birth basics. I want to do Q&As to really just answer your questions and get to the bottom of some of your fears or doubts or things you just really, you're like, this website says this website says that. I don't even know what to believe. And I also want to continue to bust some of these myths, these misconceptions around birth, natural birth, and whatever else you're thinking about when you think, I have to get this watermelon out of my body. How am I going to do this? Don't forget to subscribe to the channel, ring the bell to stay up to date with our latest content, and definitely check out my natural birth workbook. It's free and I think it will help you so much. All right, Mama, I will see you on the next video. See you then. Bye.